think of music in like the aspect of genres or certain classifications ever. I just like make what I feel like making, and honestly, like the whole classification thing, you know, bugs the hell out of me, because I feel like people are always just trying to, like, in order to attach themselves to something, they feel like it needs to be in some sort of classification, you know? And and you know, I feel like that's just part of human nature, where it's like you describe something as this or as this, and so for myself, I don't like having any part of that. I just want to write what I feel like. I listen to like all sorts of music, so it's the type of thing, like, you know, like I was raised on, like, you know, like when I was a little kid, my dad used to play a lot of Elvis, and like even like the Carpenters, all this like cheesy pop stuff. It's like brilliant though. It's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. And so like I never try to stay in certain types of like realms. More so, I guess even like down to like world music and like reggae, or like all sorts of things. Like just like, you know, music is music. Like, it's like speaking through sound. You know. I've been doing music since I was a kid, and my mentality has always stayed the same, where it's like no matter if people like listen to it or not, it's like something I need to do to speak, to say things, you know, through sounds and through...
Speak through the music.
Yeah. And so the first record was approached that same sort of way, where I didn't know if anyone would hear it, you know, and so it was just recorded that way, and it was done as a way for me just to get things out of my system. So I was actually honestly surprised when people, you know, attach themselves to it. Yeah. And even the word music, I feel like, you know, you say music, or you say the word song, and you say all these things that you're so used to hearing, and you know, you start to question, like, what does this mean if I go, you know, up to this wall with a baseball bat and I'm pounding in the baseball bat as some sort of expression, making audible sound? Is that music, or is it just noise? And so that's what I'm, you know, so fascinated by, like the realm between where it's actually something melodic, which most people would consider the only things music are things that melody, tones, whatever, and it's like, I don't agree with that. I feel like that's an interesting realm. The other side is an interesting realm, and like, where do those meet in the center, you know? I would want it to, but honestly, I'm taking next year to do, I have no idea what, but I'm not going to be doing music next year. I should rephrase that. I'm not going to be doing live music next year. So I'm going to be writing and exploring explore new sounds, see where it takes me, you know. There's going to be a few dates next year in Australia, New Zealand, and Asia in January and February. After that, nothing. With Ben, it was absolutely incredible. He was, you know, when I was about probably halfway through writing the second record, we had started talking on the phone, and he was just asking about like my ideas and you know, my vision, where I want the record to end up, you know, like basically like trying. So we started talking on the phone for months, and so all the way through me writing the record, up until the very end of me writing the record, we had been communicating over email, over the phone, just sort of what my vision was. And he really takes on the role of the artist, as far as like listening to their vision and how do you get there. And so he might go about it this way, and I might go about it this way, and so it made for a really healthy sort of butting heads and friction, but in like good friction. I think my interest in like mental problems you could say is sometimes I feel like it's very easy for my own mind to go there. Not that I don't have mental problems, but I have sort of, I would most classify it as like distraction problems and dark places that my mind is always taking me, And I have this theory that I feel like most people have the same sort of thing where their minds take them to crazy places, but a lot of times it's such a subconscious thing where it's like pulling you to this like crazy, insane, top of insanity sort of realm, but we're constantly training ourselves to pull ourselves back into the straight physical sort of like, happy realm. And so I've been interested in that ever since I was young, because my mind so easily goes to that place, and so I have to like bring it back, and there's this sort of like wrestling match with my own mind. And I feel like that's why I attach myself to music so much, is because you try to talk about it and people are just like, I don't, my mind's not like that, and it's like, all right, I will never talk to you. And it's interesting because when I was writing sleep paralysis based on research I was doing on people who undergo sleep paralysis, where it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's basically where you enter a semi-dream state, but you're actually, a lot of your body is still awake, and part of your body is asleep, so you can't move in your sleep, and there's controversy surrounding it, saying that basically you can experience the spiritual realm around you, but some people say that it's just you're dreaming, and other people say like, no, you're actually more in tune with the spiritual realm, around you, like another dimension. And so I was interested in that, just basically curious about that sort of thing. And after the song was written, actually, we were on tour, this last U.S. tour, and I went under sleep paralysis for the very first time in my life. And it was like after the song, the album had already come out. It was basically just based on research I was doing on it. And I went under, and I had experienced like this really sort of dark presence like a demonic presence in my room, and I had to like pray for it to leave, and it was this crazy experience. And so I would say I'm much more interested in it now. If you saw what I saw, my friend. Yeah. Yes, the song Daisy Phobia from my latest record is a song that I wrote as a prayer about, it was essentially, it was a prayer I was having between me and God, and this wrestling for like being, knowing how mortal I am and knowing this life on earth won't last, and kind of just like this conversation. And so when I play it live, it's the same sort of thing, and I feel like a lot of people, they don't really enter the same sort of headspace, which I don't blame them, because it's a very personal sort of thing from me to God. And I'd be interested if they are a confident person, or if they knew who they are. Just ask them, do you know who you are as a person?